the riot at the dog park studios. It's Live with Johnny. And now, here's Johnny.
Here I am. That's never going to get old. Good evening and God bless. And how are you? Go ahead, say it.
You smell like steak, dude.
You smell like steak. It's
very
suffocating.
We sat down here 10 minutes ago, and all I've heard 10 times is, you smell like steak, you smell like steak. It smells
I'm
good,
a vegetarian.
Right? You're a vegetarian. Let me tell you something. You missed out on a banging dinner tonight.
I'm not a vegetarian, but that's funny that you're a vegetarian. I get why it would be so off-putting to you, but equally as me, dude. It's like you were...
It smells like oil and steak, not just like
you were in a small room and
like
there's a
restaurant.
steak.
It smells like you just
like you were in a
to the
kitchen.
restaurant.
Exactly.
How big do you think our kitchen is? We haven't hit it big yet, pal. I mean, we've got a nice kitchen, but it's not monstrous.
You'll get there. It's fine. We'll all
smells
get
good,
there.
though, right? It makes me hungry.
It doesn't smell great.
And that's what you like. Breathing makes you hungry, fat boy. I'm actually doing pretty well.
You look good, man.
Don't flirt with me.
All right.
I will. I'll give the number away next week. I figured, got to not step on the scale all the time. You know what I mean? You
It's not good for you.
It's not. Kills your motivation, dude.
I can't talk because I kind of gotta do your thing. So yesterday I was sitting down, and before we get to Mojo Jojo and wrap up his Monday night picks and move on to the playoffs. Playoffs. We're talking about playoffs. Yesterday I sat down, started editing some videos, like clips to clip out and do stuff, the other thing.
Saw that.
Blah. I get a great one. I did a nice one, posted up, good caption. It's up for 1 minute, and a listener of ours, first comment, looks good, but there's no sound. I spent 35 minutes.
You missed one very important
35 minutes doing this, and I'm an ass, and I kept the volume. So anyway, redo tomorrow night, and we'll get that back up there. Before we get to we have a new sponsor tonight. Before we get to that, we will let's get into Mojo Jojo and the year that was Monday Night Mojo. Got to put on the cans. See you guys in 30 minutes. Here we go. Hello, Jojo. How are you, buddy? Long time no see. How are you?
Good.
Did you just flip me off?
I think he gave you a number. Oh,
Was
he gave you a number one, dude.
Oh, I am a number one.
Yeah, that's
Thank
fine.
you. Thank you. I don't know if you guys saw this week, but we finally we beat Bill Burr, not Joe Rogan. We were number 2 on Spotify this week. Finally, we came in up after. I'm sad about stuff. Jojo. Oh, jeez, Louise.
Yeah.
That's a little loud in my ears. We missed 2 weeks this year, so you went 10-5. That is, golf clap for JoJo.
10-5 is good.
Which means we will write out a check for. Oh my!
Sorry.
Christ!
Is it the smell? It's bad.
I can't with the smell. The smell is putting me off.
It's funnier when you get to say it to somebody else and it's not somebody saying it to you this time, huh? Am I right?
Good.
No, 10-5 is really good, JoJo. An impressive run, I would say.
You did good.
Yep.
Lot of balls wearing that Commander stuff today.
A lot of balls.
A lot of balls.
You got some balls on this guy.
You got a lot of balls. But good. The good news is the Miami Dolphins made it to the dance, so we're going to the dance
Against Buffalo.
I want to point out. Well, we're the three of us, me, you, and JoJo, are gonna go against each other in the playoffs to see who gets the most. Right.
Okay.
All right. Super Bowl
do
is
that.
worth 2 wins. Every other game is worth 1.
Perfect.
Deal? Okay.
Done.
Not for any prize or anything, just for total bragging rights. Sound good?
I already won 650.
Has JoJo said a word yet?
JoJo.
Yes, hello.
All right.
Okay.
I thought his audio was dead.
I think he's playing. Pay attention. I need you for 2 minutes tonight.
His mom's going to yell at him again.
JoJo, pay attention. Pay attention. You're on the show. You respect your stepfather. JoJo, log off. You're like one of his 2 listeners. You gotta get on there. All right, so JoJo, 10-5 regular season. That's a great job by you. The Dolphins made it. The Patriots did not. The Commanders did not. So I'm not rubbing it in your faces. I'm just saying. All right, we did. Now we got the bird.
That was for sure.
Grounded. Grounded. Jojo, you want to start with the NFC or would you like to start with the AFC?
NFC.
Okay, let's start with the NFC. And what I'll do is you see I have the games written here. I'll put our initials over who we
Perfect.
pick.
Are we
Sound
doing
good?
spreads or just straight win?
Straight
loss?
up winning on
I
the field?
love it.
Forget the spread.
I love it.
Jojo's got to quit. He's got to calm down with the gambling lately. I came home the other day, 3 kids in the bathroom playing dice.
It's a draft king.
Jojo, the San Francisco or the Seahawks are visiting San Francisco 49ers. Who you got?
49ers.
Kirk?
Who's the other team?
49ers or Seahawks? You got to pick my first one.
49ers.
Thank you.
Okay, so all 3 of us are going here. K,
49ers.
J, and J.
Perfect.
Jojo, you got the Giants visiting the Vikings. Be careful here, pal. What did you just say? His mother's a huge Giants fan. Go.
I don't even have to go to Hannah for this one. Obviously, the Vikings are going to beat the Giants.
Oh, I was going to say the Giants.
Kirk?
Were you?
I don't know anything
Kirk?
about football.
All right, put me down for the Giants.
No,
on
no,
that.
no.
Jojo, I'm taking the Giants.
Are you? Okay, as long as it's...
I am. And
Okay.
because I think the Giants, I'm telling you.
It's my intuition.
Do you know who's going to win
Just
the game?
because of my mom. That's why.
Not 100%. That's like 62%. The rest is, you know who's going to win this game for the Giants on?
Danny Dimes?
No, their
Oh.
head coach. He's going to out you. Mark my words.
He's a good coach.
So I'm putting
Move
JD
your
over
cursor.
here. Jojo, you got the Cowboys visiting the Buccaneers.
Cowboys.
I love Tom Brady, and I
Cowboys,
wish he would lick the
Buccaneers?
roof of my mouth.
I don't like Tom Brady anymore. I hate Tom Brady.
Cowboys?
I'll take the Cowboys as well.
All 3 of us are going Cowboys, so I'll put a 3 there.
Perfect.
So we know. Okay. Chargers visiting the Jags.
Tough game.
Oh,
Jags.
that's what I was going to say.
You were going to say Jags
Yes,
too?
I was.
Okay.
We'll also take the Jags.
Okay. And Jojo, I'm taking the Chargers.
Also not a bad pick. That's
Okay.
going to be a close game.
The Ravens are visiting the Bengals.
Bengals. Joe Burr.
I know him.
You know who? Joe Burrow?
He's the only football player I know because he's so fucking hot.
He's super
So whatever
hot.
team he's on.
We'll take the Bengals.
Oh my god. I don't even think football players are that hot, but he does it for me.
He's pretty hot.
He
I
does
didn't
it for
think you
me.
had a thing for dorky white dudes. Good for you.
Have you seen my dating history?
She hasn't seen it.
No.
Seen any of your boyfriends, apparently.
No. I stopped watching America's Most Wanted years ago. All right, so all 3 of us are taking the Bengals. All right. The Miami Dolphins are visiting the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills.
He didn't even hesitate. Who you got?
Miami Dolphins first round exits.
Who would take the Dolphins in even without a spread? If you take the Dolphins, you're just proving. Okay, fine.
Let me do this.
Hannah and I will take the Bills.
Let me just do this. I'm going to
Okay.
put my initials next to the Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
And let me put K and JoJo there.
Not only do I think the Bills are going to win, but I'll even give you 14 points, and they'll cover that. Just as a side bet, it's going to be.
If the Miami Dolphins cover the 14, you have to eat the hottest nut you have over there.
fine. Done.
Okay.
Okay.
JoJo, thank you very much for all of your words this year during Monday Night Mojo. You did a great job at 10 and 5. I'm telling you, kid's 11 years old. He knows more about sports than most adults. You give him any NFL team right now, he'll probably give you at least 3 players on the team.
That's how Ethan was too.
Go.
Any team, you can give me 3 players. Give me 3 players on the. Let's go Jacksonville Jaguars. Give me 3 players.
Trevor Lawrence.
For sure, Trevor Lawrence. That's the easy one.
There's a Josh Allen on the.
There is.
Ja-
Yes. Yep.
And then I forgot the wide receiver's name, but like
Chark.
I had a
Is
fantasy.
Is it Chark?
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's fine.
You got to pick the one team.
That was the most random team I could think of. Sorry, JoJo. I didn't mean to call you to the floor
It
there.
doesn't- Listen, he's a Commanders fan. Next year, he's going to be a Mets fan for baseball. It's all good. He's already told me. He's afraid to tell the rest of his family, but it's going to be fine. JoJo, thanks.
John?
Yes,
Can I tell you something?
you can tell me anything you want.
The Miami Dolphins are playing the Washington Commanders away next season.
So
They
we're
are
playing in
Washington.
Washington.
Yep.
Tell your mom I want tickets for my birthday.
Mm-hmm. It's his birthday soon.
When's your birthday?
Same day as my brother's.
They're twins.
It's smart.
Smart. It's in
JoJo, thank you for everything. And
Gemini.
we will see you next Monday after we get through the wild card round of the NFL playoffs. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mojo, JoJo.
Goodbye. Peace out.
Peace out, Rabbit.
Can I tell you exactly how I think you cooked your steak tonight, just based off your smell?
Can I tell you something? I didn't cook the steak, but you can go right ahead.
It was seared in a
In
pan.
a pan with canola or vegetable oil. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't know. I just got done telling you. Please don't make me look at myself like that all night.
Sorry, I'll get rid of this.
You almost just saw the steak.
That's a rough angle. That's not a you problem.
I just hurt my neck trying to make a puking noise. All right. Anyway, we have a new sponsor this evening, and it's a great sponsor, and it's a cool story. A friend of mine, his name is Mike Grizz. He's starting a company, called Fly 3 LLC, and they're a sports apparel and customized clothing company. But here's the kicker. He's starting the business with his two sons, and I wish I had taken the time to find out their ages, but I know they're young. I know one's got to be about JoJo's age, and then there's another younger guy. And Mike, much like he's a single father, and he's got these two beautiful boys, and he's decided to start this business with them and teach them early, responsibility, accountability, and a great business. And they're going to do this sports apparel and the customized clothing. And I read the story, reached out to him, and he became a sponsor of ours just like that. So not sure that he's on the Facebook yet, where we can tag him.
I don't think he is.
But his name is...
That's
nope,
him?
that is not him.
Oh my God.
Shit, that's not even her. Holy moly.
Yikes.
Shoulders on that linebacker. He's going into business with his two sons, and I know you can find him on the Instagram, and it's Fly3, spell out the word 3, LLC. And if Kirk Michael could somehow manage to get that up onto our Facebook, he will. If not tonight, we will do it tomorrow. And do yourselves a favor, type in the last name Grizz, G-R-I-Z. You'll see him and I are mutual friends, and you can find him through there as well, and you can read the cool story about that. So we wish Mike and his two sons the best of luck, and I know they'll do great things, and we're happy to have them aboard the Live with Johnny train. So, Mike, good luck. Yeah, I just said that. He doesn't listen.
He's had a long
Mr.
day.
Nihill's in the house. Mr. Nihill's a Dolphin fan. Huh?
Oh, look what
We
David
exist.
said. Look what David said.
You're supposed to open the windows when you cook on the stove.
That's
top.
good advice, David.
David's correct. You need some ventilation because, especially when you're searing, all that like smoke and stuff, it just absorbs into your clothes.
Was it
dude.
canola oil? Be honest.
I
doesn't know.
didn't fucking cook it. Number one, and number two, stop being such
Amy,
know-it-alls.
Amy,
The
was
shit
it canola
banging.
oil?
Amy, was it canola oil?
I'm sure we'll hear back soon.
Oh, Jesus Louises.
Louises.
Anyway, so Fly 3 LLC, spell out the word 3, sports apparel and customized clothing. We will tell you that again later as we remind you. We had some polls this week. Well, actually, just one poll this week.
Oh,
What are you looking at?
his Instagram.
Oh yeah,
found
there you
it.
go. All right, we'll put it up.
We're there.
I had a poll this week.
Olive oil? Really?
Interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Really? It's good. That's good.
That's good that she uses olive oil.
My
but
nose is off.
He does reek of canola oil.
My nose is off.
I don't think he wants to talk about his smell anymore.
I think we've. And she wrote and butter. I think we're past this now. It's just because you're a vegan or whatever it is you are. I want to tell you this: you missed out tonight. That was some good animal.
Oh, it had
that
to be,
animal
dude.
tastes good.
Had to be
I don't
good.
know what she does to
I
the
had
food in that kitchen.
tofu
but
in a
goddamn.
quinoa bowl.
Wow, you sound boring.
Wow.
You sound boring.
I'll live longer
What
than
kind
you.
of people ask you out on a date? Driftwood. Anyway,
Driftwood. What an asshole.
put up a poll this week, and it was: do you say Happy New Year or Happy New Year's? It drives me nuts when I hear somebody say Happy New Year's. Sir, we got to go one at a time. We can only get the one. We can't. Now, if it's New Year's, somebody said if
Just
it's
one
New
at a
Year's
time.
Eve, still say Happy New Year's. But they don't say Eve afterward. Nobody, you know what I mean?
No, if it's New Year's Eve,
gotta
you
be
say Happy New Year's
We
Eve.
all agreed that it's Happy New Year.
Yes.
Then we had an unpopular opinion, which We need to record 2 of those tonight before I leave.
Okay.
I meant to tell you that earlier.
That's fine.
I like when we do them by the video. What is
a
a
keen
keen
waffle?
Quinoa.
Oh, get it?
Oh.
He said a keen waffle. It means a pretty cool waffle.
That's a good waffle.
It means he's hip. Unpopular opinion was me saying that The Office is abundantly funnier than both Seinfeld and Friends.
Not
That's
Seinfeld.
ridiculous. Not Seinfeld, dude. Come on.
Yes.
The Office wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for Seinfeld. First of all.
That makes
But
no
go
sense.
on. Go on.
Makes 0 sense.
Go on.
The Office, much like both shows, jumped the shark. Like once Michael Scott left, and it went to the whole Andy Bernard thing and all that.
James
So
Spader.
all 3 shows, which I love James Spader's on that, it's just James Spader on that show, but
Who's he?
men are talking. And
It's that boss that came in from Blacklist.
I just burped up
You know
that
who
steak
is-
and it was delicious.
That's how you know it was
And I'm
good.
pretty sure I just burped into the microphone. So number 1, I apologize. Number 2, Amy, sorry, because she could be really mad. The Office is 10 times funnier than both of those shows, hands down. For per laugh per episode, The Office every time. There were some
Nope.
episodes of both Seinfeld and Friends where you can get through the 30 minutes of the show and just be like, meh. When Michael Scott is on that TV show, there is not one episode that you don't laugh your peeps off.
I don't think Hannah's going to. I mean, you appreciate Seinfeld, but you're an Office.
I'm the biggest Office
You're the
fan.
big. She's watched it like 20 times.
Like
You
a
cannot be the
thousand.
biggest Office fan when you tell me that it's not funnier than
'Cause
Seinfeld.
I know good humor.
Dude,
Yeah, you should see the ratings on the show the night you're on. Anyway, I digress. Before we get into tonight's topic, which will probably go for a little while because we got a lot of input from our wonderful viewers. Still waiting to see at the office. There's a bar called The Office in Oxford, and I had commented.
Oh, I
to
saw that,
Todd,
yeah.
I said, "Well, does that mean you're buying a shot and a beer the next time I saw you?" Mr. Nihil, you got to send a message or a text the next time you're up that way.
see, Melissa, she gets it.
I like a Miller Lite and a Jameson.
You don't have to watch
I've seen
it.
one episode of The Office.
You're not
Is that
missing
true?
anything. It's not.
Melissa, that's true.
I like The Office.
What did you just say?
I said I like The Office.
All I heard was,
I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's bad. I'm saying you can't compare it to Seinfeld, dude. In the big picture of comedy TV, The Office is not even in the same stratosphere as Seinfeld. I am sorry. And I like The Office, but it's not the same, dude.
You're out of your fucking mind.
I'm sorry, dude.
And here's my
Kelly
sister.
Kapoor's New Year's resolution
sister
to
mom.
get more attention.
Dude, when he does Prison Mike, come on, dude. Show me one thing on either one of those other shows that's as funny as Prison Mike. And the Dementors, they come down. Anyway.
We can just quote Office lines for the rest of the hour.
Ridiculous. It was it's the best. It's funnier than all 3. I don't even have to. All right. He says that's exactly what I drink, bro.
Whoa.
When Packer took a dump in Michael's office. Yeah.
That was funny.
That was
Packer was a great. That
You
dude
remind
is.
me of
that was-
him.
He's a
Todd
little
Packer.
bit of. He's a little bit of. A
I
Packer.
remind you of Todd Packer?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. You're like a Packer.
No, I'm not.
I get that vibe.
That dude was rapey.
No, he wasn't, dude.
He was sexual assault king of the
He
world.
was just playing around. He's all right.
You should- Yeah, boy, your new HR people must love you. It's just, it's not. Yeah, if you yell surprise, it's not bad. Struggle, snuggle. We got a little producer credit going out tonight for tonight's topic.
Okay.
Valley legend. I won't say his last name, but Handsome Dave, who you know because I work with him.
I love
Handsome Dave and I last Thursday or Friday.
He's the man.
First of all, I'm not ashamed as a man to say that this guy's handsome. He's handsome, especially when he wears blue. I don't know what it is, but dude, pops
The blue
when he wears
pops on him, dude. I agree.
We started talking about blah blah blah. So this episode is going to come off very much of back in my day and up the hill in the snow both ways to school and get off my lawn. It's going to come off that way very much. Invite goes both ways. You could also leave. What the fuck is that? She says this is sober Hannah. So we'll see what we get
I'm
out of her
sober
tonight.
as a pin right now.
Sober as a pin. Who says
You
that?
just said you were talking about old stuff today. That's an old saying.
No, it's never.
Yes,
it's
it
not.
is.
Sober as a pin.
I swear to
I
God.
don't know if that might be too. She might be referring to something.
I
that's
swear to God, it
before
says the
our
atheist. You're killing it tonight. I think you should go out for a steak tonight. Back in the day, I forgot how I labeled tonight's show. What was it? Unsafe. Somehow unsafe is safer than safe.
Right.
So basically what that means is back in the day when people didn't give a fuck about too many things and we did a bunch of dangerous shit, somehow nobody was getting hurt and people were safer. Now today we take every goddamn precaution in the world and you go like this to a kid and he's in a coma for 6 weeks.
Right. Yes.
Which I don't understand, which I think
The sensitivity
I
level
think we
is-
blame the food. We blame the food and we blame the milk. Whatever they're putting in there is weakening people's that's very conspiracy theory of me. But I thought of a bunch of things, and we'll get to the viewers' comments because they commented a ton of shit. But it starts with the way we grew up. It starts with, like, number one, I went to the pediatrician, and both my parents and the doctor were smoking.
I remember, dude.
Do you remember?
Dude, I remember the no smoking light on airplanes.
So as bad as that is, and as much as nobody, I know smokers who don't like cigarette smoke. You know what I mean?
Right.
Smokers are like other smokers. Smokers don't want to be in a room with other smokers because of all the smoke.
Right.
Are you vaping?
My foot fell asleep.
Grow up. I remember them smoking, so here I am, and here's the funny part: I'm going to the doctor because I'm asthmatic,
Right.
and I got 3 people puffing
Ripping
Winston's
darts, yes.
who are like, we got to figure out what's wrong with them. And I'm like, well, if you all just would give me some space. But I believe that made us all tougher and stronger.
Well, you
that we
built
could
up the- yeah, right.
How you ever have a doctor looking at you and they're looking in your ears and their cigarettes like right here. You can feel the warmth off of it, and they're looking in your ear, and then they grab your face, and now that cigarette's like touching your cheek, or your mom trying to fix your hair, and the cigarette's like
Right.
almost about to burn
And
your
you get
face
the
off.
ash like going down
And
your
you're like,
neck,
yeah, and you're like, stop pulling away. So what? You get burnt. Fix your hair. And then they'd lick their hand and wipe your face off.
And then we'd ride in the front of the car without a seatbelt.
No seatbelt.
And then if they had to slam on the brakes,
let's go
Mom
over
would
what-
just
She
hold.
still does that. In the
we'll
car.
go over a few of the things I wrote. Then we'll get into what everybody commented.
Okay.
And we'll go one by one because there's some good ideas, or some not good ideas, but some good stuff.
They're good. I mean, it's good stuff.
A doctor's smoking, right? And here's a popular one that we saw today. Middle of July, August, you're out playing with the boys. You're having a good old fucking, back when kids went outside. We used to go outside, play in the yard.
I did that as a kid.
Home run derby, tag, other things. And you're thirsty.
Drink out of the hose.
There was no
We
fucking
did that.
there was no Capri Suns. Mom didn't send us out with Capri Suns or our water bottles or, our Sunny D.
Or Fiji water.
Our,
You drink Fiji water.
Yeah, because I'm a grown man. I can afford it.
I want to make a joke, but I can't because I'll never forget on our total dick face move, my first date with Amy, I ordered a bottle of Pellegrino.
Oh, I love Pellegrino.
And I
like
love it.
Pellegrino.
I love it, but not thinking. I must have, in that moment, I had to have come off as a douche.
That is a douche move.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Hook, line, and sinkered that one. Got her. Drink from the hose. But as my buddy Dave Rano pointed out today, and he reminded, you had to let that hose run.
You're
Remember,
right.
It
tasted
because that was like
hose.
25 feet of
Yes.
hose, and then in the heat,
It's been
you get
baking.
boiling fucking hot water right to your face. So I remember I would wait for, what did she say? We fell out of the car when we were little. Thank God for seatbelts nowadays. That is hysterical. I have a funny story about that. The hose, and I would wait for my brothers to come around the side of the house and turn it on and spray them and burn the fuck out of
Right, because it's boiling at
it
that
was-
point.
it was
Yeah,
absolutely
it's been
boiling.
baking all day in the sun.
No helmets. Nobody ever wore a helmet when we were kids. Nobody ever wore a helmet. Nowadays, kids are wrapped in bubble wrap. The moms got them looking like they're knights in the Game of Thrones to get on their bikes. Ridiculous.
So when Ethan was playing Pop Warner, there was a parking lot with a hill behind it. And I took Hannah there one night, and she's riding her
Roller skates.
down the hill and then circling around down the hill. This mother comes up to me. How are you letting her do that without a helmet? Like this other mother was like attacking me. I was like, it's not your kid. So she's gonna fall and crack her head open. She'll be fine. It's not even your own kids. People get, if they even see it now, they're like, whoa.
When Johnny was like 5 or 6, for some reason he never wanted to ride a bike, so he had one of those.
No.
We had.
I don't know how to ride a bike.
She says we sure did, Jess, and then she says it took a minute for our mom to realize we were gone.
Oh shit! Where'd they go?
Jess, I told you to keep your phone on tonight. There may be a phone call at some point in this thing because there's. Wait till you read the other comments Jess has. ADHD didn't exist. It did.
It
We just
definitely
had
did.
special classrooms. I was in one. There's that joke. Is, I don't know what HD is, but doctor says I got 80 of them.
I got 80 of them.
No helmets. I remember one time I took Johnny to I forget what parking lot it was, and there were other kids would go there. So he's on a scooter. You know, you put one foot on a scooter. The
That
other.
razor scooter thing.
Woman says to me, "He should be wearing a helmet." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "He should be wearing
It's
a
none
helmet."
of your fucking business.
I told her. I looked her right in the eye. I go, he's already stewing out. I'm hoping it knocks it back the other way.
already.
She just looked at me like,
Yeah, you know, this guy, this kid.
seatbelts, of course. We had, my dad drove a Ford van.
Single seat,
So it was the 2 bucket seats in front.
right?
But that steak is BBM. And smells delicious. And it had a bench seat right behind the driver's seat.
Yep.
That was like attached to the wall going that way. The rest was open. Me and my brothers were just chilling. They're driving around. We're in the back.
70 miles an hour on the highway, just jumping around.
We used to remember. I don't remember what they're called, but remember the bouncy thing. You would sit on it and bounce around. We would play a game in the back of the van while they were driving to see who could stay on it longest.
You know I don't have to wear a seatbelt in New Hampshire if you're over 18.
You don't. Also,
Live free or die.
how about riding in the back of a pickup truck on the highway?
We could also
So-
do that in New Hampshire.
As
That was fun, dude.
when Amy and her sisters are talking about falling out of a car, one time my Grandpa Joe, who was a great man, who gave us the sage advice as young boys that don't play with it, it'll grow. Mm-hmm. He lied.
He lied.
We were in the back of his pickup truck, and my grandfather, my grandmother were in the cab of the truck. Me and my brothers were in the back, and my mom and dad were following behind in the other car. Beautiful summer day, blah, blah, blah. Well, Robert was like falling asleep, so my parents picked him up, put him in the back of my grandfather's truck. I don't know if they ever said, like, hold on to your brother or whatever.
They
I don't know
didn't
if
give
they
you
were like-
any instructions.
So you pulled out of our driveway, and when you went up the driveway, now you go up the hill to get out of it because we lived on a circle. They get half up. Robert
Rolls back.
If I could see it in my head, he rolled back,
Hits
hit the
the
tailgate,
tailgate.
and they're not like they are now.
Tailgate opens.
Tailgate opens, and Robert just flops on the pavement and starts rolling. You hear my father's in the car, and Robert doesn't even fucking wake up. He's got like an acorn stuck in his hair. He doesn't even know what happened.
And guess what? Robert's fine now, right? He's.
It's up
I
for
mean,
debate.
he's
all
okay.
right.
He's
all
okay.
right. I mean, he can't do math, but I'm
That's
kidding.
fine.
He's fine. We'll get to that one last. Fighting. Kids don't fight anymore. It's all keyboard. It's all nobody hashes nothing out with a fist
And
fight.
even
and
when they
becomes
do
friends.
fight, it's so lame, dude. It's just 2 punches and then they're hugging each other. It's
I
not
had
the
a
same.
knockdown, drag out fight club fist fight with a dude junior year about a girl. Mm-hmm. We've been best friends ever since. The very next day, we shared a natty light and
Hugged it out.
we became best friends. Kids just don't.
That's a nice story.
Kids just don't do that now. I mean, now you read shit, you got, every day in a Waterbury, a 16, 17-year-old kid's getting they're getting shot or beat with pipe wrenches. Nobody
Yeah.
knows how to fair fight no more.
Yeah.
You got that. We'll get into all this. I had a fight club in my basement.
Never
True story.
invited me.
I didn't know you back then.
Oh,
You're like 22 years older than me.
Oh,
10, bro, at the most.
Christ, dude, you were probably your doctor getting a colonoscopy. I
and
was
your
only
kids are
fucking
the same
14.
age. What does that say about you?
That I was active.
He was doing things. That
I was active. Your father,
I was waiting.
Your father was lame.
Unresponsible.
I'm a very good dad.
You're a great dad, John.
Anyway, after my father passed, we had the house, and my mother was selling the house. She moved away. We had parties in that house every weekend. Every weekend. I'm talking kegs, parties, people from all over the place. Huge rippers. I used to be, and I try to get this through to my wife, I used to be an exciting, crazy, loco dude.
Back in the day.
Now I just come across as a tired, boring,
Me
Caucasian
too. Right?
knucklehead.
I'm tired and boring
Yeah.
all the time. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I did so much before the age of 22 that I was just like, bleh.
Right. You get to the point where it's like, okay.
So my buddy is going to fight this kid at school. And of course, you can't fight in school because blah, blah. So I said, listen, my house tomorrow morning. I got the whole full basement.
We'll throw down.
What ends up happening? For about 6 weeks before we got ratted out, we had a fight club every Saturday morning at my house.
Why on Saturday morning? That's a strange time to...
We had school Monday through Friday, bro. So every Saturday. So
That's
kids,
strange.
there were kids that I didn't even know. You hear ding dong, they get to the door. I'm like, what's up? They're like, yeah, I'm in so-and-so's class. I'm like, Seymour High? They're like, yeah. Like, all right, come on in. We get one day, ding dong, hello. Kids from like Ansonia. The Dots, what's up? Nothing. You got a fight club? Yeah. Can we come in? Yeah, these are the rules. And we were like,
First rule, don't talk about it.
number one, you can't rap. But two,
Don't rat.
if you're going to fight, the person you want to fight has to want to fight you.
Right.
And when we say it's done, it's done.
Bell rings, it's over.
Legit
Done.
fight club in my basement. It was awesome.
That's-
you know how we get ratted out?
Wait.
Noise complaint.
Neighbor.
No,
No?
no.
Some kid goes to the hospital.
Kid lost the fight, got hurt?
Snapped his leg, dude.
Really?
It was gruesome.
Not like compound.
Gruesome.
Was the bone stick? Or was it like twig snap? Like Joe Theismann
like,
snap?
Like you. So this is so funny. We were such
funny.
dorks. So whoever was fighting would be, fighting, and we would all be like this, standing up, going. Dude, it was so
It's creepy.
it was so cuckoo. Now I have to admit, because the night before we partied our butts off, so some
Right,
of us
so you're
weren't.
all fucked
Some
up.
of us
Yeah,
didn't go
yeah.
to sleep
Yeah,
yet. Some of
you're
us were
all-
blah, 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 blah. So whatever. This kid, his mom, to this kid's credit, he was a soccer player, and he went home, and he told his mom he went to go play soccer with friends, and that's what happened.
And busted his leg. That was his backstory? Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ.
And we got caught because he wrote a note to his girlfriend. Because back then there was no phones. He wrote her a note telling her what happened. Because she's like, you better know. And he wrote, I don't want to get the Dodados in trouble and everybody else. And he wrote, unfortunately for him, he wouldn't be good in the mafia or nothing because he wrote everybody's name.
Paper trail.
Yeah.
He's wrote, and I don't want to get the Dodados in
Itemized.
trouble or this kid in trouble or this kid in trouble.
Especially
or this kid in trouble.
John, the guy that organized
Oh, my
it.
buddy Paulie took the bets. We were betting on. I mean, it was.
You're not going to
6
see that nowadays.
It was
Nobody's
6
doing that, dude.
Phenomenal weeks of Fight Club in my basement.
Nobody's doing that.
No one's doing that these days. Boy, I love it when I can't write my own, read my own writing. Oh, the El Camino stunt. We'll tell that story later. Field parties. Remember field parties?
I was just going to say when you were talking
still do
about
that.
but I don't know. It seemed
to
like
the point where you wake up with vomit on your shirt at 5 a.m. and watch the sunrise on
Yeah.
Oxford, Connecticut.
like keggers
Come
in
on,
the
man.
woods,
No.
like keggers in the
Okay,
woods.
I also live in New Hampshire, so it's different up there because everyone's a hick. So we do that.
It doesn't seem
It's
as
not the
prevalent
same.
as it used to be.
It's not the same.
used
I'm
to
talking
cut
about being
school.
14, 15 years old, getting a keg of Red Dog, right? Which tasted like fucking palm olive.
You're dating yourself there just by that.
It was either that or the Molson Ices
Oh.
or the Bud Light Ice. Remember in the chiseled bottle? And you'd wake up smelling like fucking
So bad.
Goldschlager
yeah.
and Aftershock.
Yeah.
And you'd watch the sunrise. The morning dew's you're freezing and you just get in your car and drive.
And the problem was that nobody ever had the foresight to bring like a barrel and some ice. So by like 11 or 12 midnight, the fucking beer was like lukewarm. But you're so wasted at that. And dude, a warm beer hangover is the worst.
I think you guys forget that college is still a thing.
I don't know. I don't feel
I
like
really
they.
think you do. I really think you do.
I just don't feel like they're as brazen as they used to be. Like it's different.
I don't know.
I'm not saying you guys still don't throw down.
I didn't go to college.
Shocker. Could not have guessed that.
I cannot wait till she
I-
makes me a
I-
fucking BMT
I
with
hope
extra
so.
mayonnaise and black olives. I cannot wait, and then I'm gonna go. Where's your diploma now?
I also did not go to college, if that helps.
Please.
Wouldn't have guessed that though.
Okay. 4 years to become a
Okay.
fucking sandwich artist. Anyway, the field parties were they don't do that. You say it, but they don't. Like, I would go 15 hours. My mother would. Does anybody know where Johnny is? And my brothers always knew. Yeah, we think he's over Paulie's. They would just come up. And
Dude,
I'd
there
hear
were
Chuck
so
come
many
up.
nights where the parents just they didn't know where we were.
Do you know
like,
how many-
and it's not that they didn't care. It was just like, oh, they're out doing something.
Because
Like
we
we weren't
and
texting.
that's going to be my next thing.
They
Because
didn't
we
know.
always came back.
Right.
And we always just kept to ourselves. We didn't share our feelings and tell everybody to share their feelings.
And listen, bad shit happened. Bad shit always happens, but bad shit happened despite us not having
whatever
a
happened to
location.
being sad, listening to a sad song, getting fucking wasted, falling asleep
were
and
good
passing out in the
days.
field, and waking up the next day and putting your boots on and fucking being done with it.
Those were good days, man.
Now we got to hand out fucking coloring books and cry closets, and everybody's got to share their feelings.
I would like a cry.
I don't know why are you looking at me like that for.
I don't have anything to say.
She feels that this is a personal affront to her,
We used to
I
have
think.
rock stars who would get on airplanes and piss in the aisle, get to their hotel room, throw the TV through the fucking window, flip everybody off, and fucking shoot heroin and make the best album you ever heard. Now, what do you got? Chris Martin telling you to fucking save the earth.
It was
And then he
all
gets on his
yellow.
It was all yellow. And then he just fucking gets in his fucking jet and ruins the fucking earth anyway, because sometime in 330 million years from now, the earth is going to be in trouble. But let's give a fuck today. Don't get me started. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to hit your microphone.
Johnny's got some stuff. He's got some baggage he needs to
Let it
unload
out.
here.
For
Go ahead,
real.
let it out, dude.
For real.
Radiohead's gonna save the world.
One good song does not make the greatest band ever. They suck.
I love Radiohead.
I like
Bleh.
Radiohead too.
We grew up right. We grew up hard, and we grew up in a way. Listen, let me tell you something. My parents switched from Winston to Marlboro
To get the
so
miles?
my brothers and I could get a tent or a backpack. Or my father could get a fucking coffee. You know, remember the old school coffee thing to bring your coffee with? The cup unscrews,
Unscrewed, yeah.
and you can pour your coffee
Yeah,
into it.
yeah.
They literally stopped what they were smoking to smoke another brand, which back in the day, your brand was
It's a
your
big
brand.
thing.
Like if you ever try to give my grandfather anything else, my other grandfather, not Grandpa Joe, but if you ever try to give him anything other than a Camel,
Well, be like giving my
not
mom
having
some-
it, dude.
Be like giving my mom something besides a Parliament with the charcoal filter.
forget
She's
about it.
not gonna- You know. She knows I'm right.
The best part is my Grandpa Joe used to smoke Evermore cigars all the time.
Oh,
and he every time my parents light up a cigarette, he'd be like, "You people are disgusting.
Yeah, gross.
You're fucking disgusting." You just like you don't know what it's like that. Your parents would smoke. My parents would smoke 3 packs a day, just so one of us could get a fucking tent.
That's dedication.
It's
Kind of
That's
sweet.
it's nice. There's a good thought in there. I mean, it seems horrific now, but under the surface,
They were so
cute
excited when they were like, "Oh my God, Johnny's getting the Marlboro Trapper Keeper! I can't believe it!"
Keeper. I like
Oh,
Newports.
you don't even know, dude. Like first day of school, there was always at least they were so proud of themselves. All right, we got 3 things. One of you gets the Marlboro lunchbox with the thermos. One of you gets the backpack, and one of you gets the fucking Trapper Keeper.
oh, I take.
Do you
the
know how much
Trapper
I'd
Keeper.
pay for all of those items now today?
Oh my God, that's $200, man.
And I think they still do it. I don't know. I'm pretty sure almost that you could still do Marlboro Miles. I think.
Really?
We'd have to
No,
do
you
some-
can't.
We'd have to do some research. Columbia, my mother-in-law would only smoke Cools.
Cools. Oh my God, I forgot about those.
That's like a hardcore one. Right?
That's like a Newport turned up a notch.
I
A
love
cool
Newport.
It would have been awesome if you said it's like a Newport, but cooler.
Cooler. But a job.
I still have my Marlboro duffel bag, which is the best quality bag I've ever had. Yeah, I heard you had many bags in that hill.
Ooh,
Meh,
Todd,
on your
easy.
chin.
Settle down, Todd.
What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. all
God,
of a
your
sudden.
handwriting is brutal, dude.
It's pretty
How can
great,
you-
right?
How can you read that? Are those even letters?
Yeah, man.
Hold that up to the camera.
No.
doctors.
That's another thing we didn't do back then. We didn't shame people. Yes, we did. We shamed people publicly.
We wrote stuff by hand. We didn't
And
type it on a computer. Oh yeah, the shaming. Well, I mean, that's
I've said
it's
this 1,000
different
times
dude.
on the show.
It's different times.
When you wanted to make fun of somebody, like if Hannah lived in Watertown and on one side and the guy she just broke up with in sophomore year lived on the other side of town, if he wanted people to know that Hannah was a hoe, because that's what you did when you broke up with the girls
Right.
back then,
Call them
you
a
had to
hoe.
let everybody else know that she was
She's a hoe. Stay away from her.
He'd have to get on his bike and put in work.
Right.
Like you
Put
got
some
knock
pedals
on
in.
fucking doors.
You got to crank some pedals to get the word out.
You know what I'm saying? Did he do that?
Couple of them, yeah.
Hey. Are you tanning? Or is that
I've
he
been going to
noticed.
the tanning beds.
He
Thank
noticed.
you.
She's so happy you
I've been going
noticed.
because I
I
do-
turned around. I thought fucking Tina Turner
Oh
was sitting
my
there.
god!
I think you went a little
thank
heavy.
I've only been twice.
Oh my god! I think that's what they call cultural appropriation, as we spoke about
No,
last
no,
week.
no, because I'm not. I have olive skin. I get tan easy. I can't help it.
You do not. She does.
Yes,
right?
I do.
She
I have
does.
an olive undertone. So does Kirk.
does.
Lisa
That's
has
right.
a pink undertone.
Yeah.
Ethan is straight white boy Caucasian.
Oh, he is
Yeah,
so
he has like
white,
a
dude.
yellow undertone.
That's
He is
right.
so white.
Yeah.
So who do you think your dad is?
We're pretty sure on that.
We look exactly alike.
I don't think we need a test for that one.
She would have us light it, and I'd gag. Wait, whoa.
Those cool.
You had to light your mom's cigarettes as children?
Oh, I remember my mom
That's
giving
fucking
me my
fantastic.
first, and it was like beers too. Like when you're 10 or 11, it's like, oh, you could take a little sip, you know. But the cigarette, it was like, okay, you could try one puff.
I remember
11 years old.
Remember the Michelob?
Yeah.
It came with the little ponies. Well, I mean, the big ones did too, but they had the gold foil, and you had to rip the gold foil
Yes.
off, and then
Yep.
my father, that's what he would drink on a summer day, and I remember vividly him cracking one open and sitting in the yard, and I would smell it, and I would go, "Oh my God, that's such a beautiful smell," and I'd just be like, "Can I have a sip?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, you could have a sip," and dude, cover your ears. I get a fucking hard on.
But you would go
That
full hard on.
fucking beer.
Because you
was-
associate it, right? It's like,
I could listen to this day. My father will be dead 29 years this month. I could tell you like it was yesterday that I can smell that. I could smell him, smell that beer, and taste that beer when I close my eyes. Greatest memory. Great fucking.
one of the
memories.
earliest things my dad and I ever bonded over was he used to
Please
drink.
say hookers. Please say hookers. Go.
No. He used to drink Heffenreffer. I think it was Heffenreffer. And when you took the bottle cap off, there was always a little puzzle, like underneath on the bottle cap. It was like a picture puzzle. Like they'd show you pictures and you had to figure it out. So he'd just be drinking them and like giving me the bottle cap. He'd be like, figure it out. And like I'd figure him out. He was like, wow, you're pretty smart.
They were
I'm
Snapple
like,
way before Snapple.
6 years old.
Oh man! Sometimes on the stove, if she had no lighter, she would send us to the kitchen to light
Yeah.
it on the stove. That's
I
funny.
remember
Oh,
that
we
too.
still do that
Yeah,
when
I-
we smoke. Like,
yeah, we used to do that
yeah.
with weed
Do you
too.
smoke cigarettes? Like,
I
are you a
do.
smoker?
When I drink, I do. So like every weekend. But I did buy a pack when I was sober this past semester because I was sad, and I smoked one in my car, and I immediately threw up all over
So
myself.
if you go away from it and come, like if I,
Time out. You're
It would-
stepping on the thing here.
it would be gross.
You were sad about stuff.
I was just depressed, and I was like, you know what? I need a cigarette. So I went and bought a pack of Marbreds, which is what we smoke up there. It took like 3 puffs, threw up all over myself.
In the car?
Yeah, I was dead sober,
Like,
like on myself. Like,
you are a fucking professional. All right. It is 8:15. I just want to remind everybody of our sponsor this evening. Fly 3 LLC Sports Apparel and Customized Clothing. Go check them out. We tagged them up.
steak.
Hold on. Who sent that to you?
Hold on.
Is that the steak?
Hold
you
on. Let me
ate
get through the
today?
sponsor before we get to the steak.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it up while you do the sponsor.
This wife of mine. Sponsor is Fly 3 LLC.
Make sure spell out the 3.
Spell
like you
out
said.
the 3,
That's
not
why
the
I
number
couldn't find
3.
him,
The word 3, THREE.
E, Fly
They are
3.
sports apparel and customized clothing. I don't know why that's so hard for me to say. New venture of father and his 2 sons, a wonderful human being. I've known him for many years. They're starting this business together. His sons are young. They're not even teenagers yet, and they're going to start their own business with their dad. Go support them. Go check them out. Go look. And we welcome Fly 3 LLC to the Live with Johnny family. Now,
Let's talk about this steak.
now, before we get to the viewers' comments about our topic this week, here's the thing. And
Talk straight in your mic. You're off to
sorry,
the
sorry,
side.
sorry.
No, I just want him to hear you.
First question.
Yes.
Did you ask for this picture or was it
No,
sent
Amy
to you?
voluntarily
I love that.
said it to me.
Okay.
She said he might stink, but man,
That's-
it was good.
That's phenomenal. Yes, Mark Morgan. It does sound like a wonderful company. Fly 3 LLC. It's wonderful thing, and I believe they're going to be a sponsor for a long time. So we will talk more about them. I'll also put up a post about them at some point this week. Okay, so Amy reaches out to you and says, "Here's a picture." Okay. You know how good that steak was? I'm going to show you how good that steak was. That Amy swirled a piece in that juice.
Yep.
Look at it.
I was going to say, sorry, and she got interrupted. The first thing I noticed about this, and props to you guys, the paper plates.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
I
dude.
think those are so underrated nowadays, dude. Right?
Mr. Samperi, what's up? Listen, the way we go through plates and we go through cups in our house, we do the red Solo cup.
Oh
too,
no.
Yeah, you do. We would too if she would let me.
It's fucking
dishes.
bad for the environment.
First of all, my dishwasher works a lot during the week. I don't want to put any more stress on her.
Can we talk about the steak?
I'm
Yes,
ready to
alright.
see a cross section
Okay,
of the steak.
first of
The
all,
sear on it is perfect.
It's good. It's a
Let me-
good
oh,
sear.
let me tell you something.
The
The
sear is
crisp
amazing.
on that steak.
Yeah.
My wife, she says to me, she'll say to everybody, anybody who will listen to her, she always says, "I don't cook steak good. I don't cook steak good." Let me tell you something.
No, that looks right. That's
it
exactly.
looks like a good steak.
Yeah,
It
that's
looks
exactly
like a
how
good
I like
steak.
it.
Yeah.
What is she yelling about? Would you go? Would you text her?
Oh my God.
Tell her the mics are
If
picking
any-
up her screaming.
If anybody just heard that, Lisa is upstairs by herself and clearly just found that other picture of Pete Davidson. Holy could. Oh, she's saying no paper plate. You screamed like that over paper plates?
When I used to eat meat, I always liked my steak medium well, so I support that.
I'm a medium rare guy on a paper plate.
I liked medium well. I did.
It's going to taste better on a paper plate. That's all I know.
For me, if it's too red, it's too chewy. Like I like it the way that
I do
Amy
too.
cooks it,
I
please
like
say.
medium well, honestly.
Too chewy if
No.
it's no.
If
it's-
Amy cooks
I'm
you a
with Amy
steak,
on
will you
this
eat
one.
it, Hannah?
Would I eat steak? No.
I would.
I accidentally. Oh, stop.
Oh, stop.
Duh.
I accidentally ate chicken last year and I threw up for 3 days straight. I had 2 bites of chicken.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
How do you accidentally eat chicken?
Because the school dining hall's vegetarian section was serving real chicken instead of vegan chicken.
She got hizzy hooed.
Now,
got
did
hissy
you
hooed.
did you
And I did make a stink about it.
did you puke after someone told you what it was, or did you realize what it was while you were eating
My
it?
stomach hurt after I ate 3 pieces and I threw up. And then I went back in the rest of the chicken and pulled it apart and there was a bone in it.
I
So,
guarantee
it's
you
real
that if I
chicken.
cook you a burger and I give you the
I would
Beyond
throw up
Burger,
and shit for 4 days.
you would not. Hannah, this is a family show.
You're fucking burping. I can't say shit.
See that steak? I'm burping so I could taste that steak again. I'm almost hoping there's half of that motherfucker waiting for me when I get home.
Make a good steak sandwich after
Steak and
Let me
that.
tell
eggs
you
tomorrow?
something.
Yeah.
Steak
thank
and
you.
eggs?
Steak and eggs, the best.
Baby, when I get home, I don't want nothing on but the radio and that steak on a plate.
Yeah, Tom Sampieri, medium rare.
I like medium well.
That's medium rare, dude. There's only one way. I'm sorry.
I used to when Johnny Duke owned a bar. I used to cook for him during the days. Basically, it was like Johnny, drink for free, work in the kitchen, not a problem. I was like 19. We had a guy come in. I won't say his last name because I don't like to do that to people. What did you just do?
Oh, I can't. Oh my god.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay, never mind. Can't even do that.
Piece of shit.
This guy Clay used to come in. He was also I went to school with his children, but he's a good dude, old school fireman. Used to come in, and Johnny Duke used to have the little like I forget what they're like, the sandwich steaks, but a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
And Clay would go. He would we would turn on the grill. You would take the steak out of the package. You would put it down on the grill. You'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yep.
Flip it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and he'd take it off and he would eat it.
That's how you eat your steak, Dad.
No, that sounds. I don't like full rare. I like it pink, but seared and cooked on the outside, but not like red.
There
on
can
the
be
pink.
there can be a sliver of pink in the middle. That's fine.
No,
But
that's sliver.
it can't
I
be.
need it. No, I need like 80% pink.
Now
Always.
I all we see is the steak. They don't see us. That's
I
funny.
know.
Oh, he knows.
I'm leaving it
Oh,
up
no,
intentionally.
take it off. Take it off.
That's fucking funny.
I knew what was happening.
I didn't.
I didn't know they were just looking at steak.
You imagine being like a new listener? They come plugging in. What the fuck? Well, now I just forgot what I was going to say. Oh, before I got together with my beautiful wife, I used to be an A1 guy because I don't know how to season
A1.
anything.
Love A1.
I love A1 sauce, but I haven't put A1 sauce on a steak that she has made since we've been together.
That's the thing.
You see that thing?
Because she
The
makes good
A1
steak.
compensates for
Yeah.
not a good steak. It makes it better, but a good steak. you don't
Funny
need it.
story. Probably Johnny had to be about 2 or 3 years old, right before his good for nothing loser mother came out of the picture forever.
Okay,
No, I'd say that in the nicest way.
of course. No offense.
It was probably like the last New Year's Eve you ever spent with her. You want to hear that story one day on Live with Johnny? I'll fucking tell it.
I do want to hear that.
I wanted a steak and I was going to a party, but I knew I had to get something in my belly, but I was already half in a bag.
Mm-hmm.
So they had that. I was out in Milford way. I think I was going to Knickerbockers, to be honest with you.
Holy shit.
So I went to the Outback. Remember when the Outback first got out there in Orange, Milford, wherever
Yep.
the hell it is?
Yep.
Over
It
on
was
Marsh
huge.
Road.
It was huge.
I go in there, I sit at the bar, I get a big old steak, and I'm like, yeah, have any A1 sauce? I was pretty liquored. I had the big tall boy beer before. Remember they'd give you the big Aussie beer, the Fosters and the big.
It's like a quart of
Disgust
beer.
And
Nasty.
I'm chugging it, I'm drinking it, and I'm pretty much in the bag. And I say to the girl, "You have any A1?" And she brings out like this whole like thing and just puts it down. So not paying attention, I never knew there was flavors of A1. There's this, there's that. blah, 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 blah,
Bold.
blah.
Yeah.
So I just grabbed the first one. I shake the foot. Whoa, sorry. Wait. I shake it up. I pour it all over my steak. Just ready to go. I cut it. I put it in my mouth. I must have picked the Tabasco hot motherfucker one.
Bold and spicy.
And now since we've learned on this show, right, I get mild salsa and I got to take a day off from work.
So that
My
didn't go
whole fucking so I said to the girl, I said, listen, I fucked up. I only took one bite out of the steak. What do I do? Her and her manager, they're like, dude, that's fucking too bad for you.
What do you want?
That's a you problem.
I
steak's fine.
stuck the fork in the steak. I hung it up over my plate like this, and I just
Scraped it.
scraped. People, I was hammered. People must have just been looking at me, dude. It was pretty bad. But anyway,
Jesus
AIM, good
Christ.
steak.
Good steak, Aim.
Good steak. Thanks for bringing
steak.
out to our attention that people can only see the steak. Because now they see 2 pieces of meat.
All right.
Listen, I'm a beyond human. He's the human me. I'm the beyond human.
I'm not a real human.
I would get you a Beyond Burger and cook a burger, and I guarantee you can't tell the difference.
Yeah, that's why Beyond Meat is good, because you can't tell the difference.
So then how would you know to get sick?
You're reinforcing.
Because I believe you only get sick if you know the truth. It's all right
Oh,
here.
so you think it was a psychosomatic sickness?
No, like you actually get sick if you don't eat meat for years and then you eat it.
Well, yeah, there's proteins
All right.
and stuff. Your gut.
Your gut
Can't
can't handle
digest
it.
let's get to the comments, and we're going to go over some of these and see if these things happened to us when we were children.
Okay.
All right, the first one is from, and I'm going to say people's last names because if you're commenting on these,
It's public.
it's public.
It's on Facebook.
All right, go up. Where'd you go? There you go. All right, so Chrissa Daisy, who I grew up next to, she lived on a circle with us, her and her brother Stevie. I don't know why I called him Steven. I've called him Stevie my entire life.
Strange.
She says basically all of our childhood shenanigans in the area of Heritage Drive, and she ain't fucking kidding.
Yeah. Was that the spot?
Dude, I the stories for days, the ridiculous things that we did. Now, and I realized everybody else had these experiences as children too, because everybody thinks their neighborhood was the best. But I'd like to believe that we were top tier, because I got to tell you, again, I know I come across as a boring old Caucasian piece of meatloaf, but I'm telling you right now, my mother, she used to tell people, she's like, this kid's out of his fucking mind. She goes, he's a rock star without ever getting on stage. I did. And unfortunately, it was fueled by Seagram 7 and Budweiser. Oof. That was my jam back in the day, dude.
Jesus
I would
Christ.
keep a pint in my back pocket and just drink.
That's classy.
I was back in the day, when you allowed life to be a sad song. You have to allow life to be a sad song. Kids nowadays don't allow that. They want to know why everything's not going my way and why isn't this fair? You can't do this to me. All right, my fucking, I went through some shit as a child, a kid, teenager. I fucking Seagram 7 and Budweiser it out of my
And
system.
you're fine.
I'm fucking fine.
Fine.
I'm fine. I don't need help or nothing. Melissa Lynn says, and this is the interesting one.
That's a good one. I forgot about
calling
those.
chat line numbers and telling the guys to meet us at the mall, then laughing at them.
So did she laugh at them at the mall? Like, did she go meet them or just laugh at them? I'm assuming they laughed on the phone.
So because I have a little bit of an inside scoop, I guess they would call these numbers.
Yeah.
Because you can call chat lines.
Yeah.
And the guys would call to meet chicks, and they'd be like, "Yeah, baby, meet us at the mall," thinking that these girls were women.
Right.
And these dudes would show up looking for whoever they said, and they would just laugh at them.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
You know what we call that now? To catch a predator.
What's that guy's name?
Chris Hansen.
Chris Hansen.
Chris Hansen, to catch a predator. Mary Ellen, I am not even going to attempt to say the last name. I rode my bicycle on I-91 while they were building it.
That's intense. That's intense.
So she was around when they were building I-91, and she took her bike on there. That's fucking legend status.
That'd be 60s.
That's legend status.
Yeah, it sure is.
Nowadays, when you drive your bike on I-91, it's a DWI.
Yeah.
Renee says, walking to the park alone, ding-dong ditching prior to ringing
Right. You
doorbells.
can't do the ding dong ditch or the dog poop bag trick anymore.
Quick funny
'cause
story that
They're gonna
my
see you on the
sister-in-law is
ring.
not going to love. My nephew got snagged about 2 months ago on a Ring doorbell.
Really?
They thought they were funny, ding-dong ditching, and the neighbor comes over to the other guy's house. He's like, yeah. He goes, oh, well, how do you know it's our kids? He goes, look, here's a fucking picture of the kid.
I used to do that in high
And there's
school
my
all the
nephew,
time.
like this.
But
Ding-dong.
even when you were in high
were
school,
no
nobody
ring
had
cameras.
rings. You were fine.
Me and Kaylee would do that every weekend. We would just drive around
It's fun,
smoking
man.
and ding dong
I don't know.
ditching
It's
people.
fun. It's fun.
Keith Corcoran says, throw snowballs at cars. And then he says, I mean, not me, but everyone I hung out with.
Yeah.
You raised a good kid, Mom. Good cover, Keith. I do. I remember throwing
Yeah.
snowballs at people's cars, and some people would just be like, you goddamn kids. Or there were some people, I remember one time a husband and wife got out and had a snowball fight with us. Legit.
Yeah. And that was a good thing to do on the snow days when you didn't have school. You
Do
go
that,
out and-
do that shit now, you're going to get shot at.
Somebody's gonna shoot you.
People
Don't
don't
do
care.
that.
People aren't fun anymore.
Don't do that.
They're just not fun anymore. Heather Dawn says, walking to a store on Main Street to buy my dad cigarettes when he was at the alumni. He'd send me with a note and money because I think I was around 8. True
Sell
fucking
her cigarettes.
story.
No, they would sell you
True
cigarettes.
story. My brother Miguel, the Hawaiian, we've talked about him a lot, which, show's getting bigger now. If you're his real father and you're listening, reach out to me. I want to get to the
We
end
need
of
to
this.
know. We need to know.
I'll find you, Alfred Pupanu. I will find you.
So smart.
My father, Miguel was 14. My father would give him the keys to the car and a note and cash to go get cigarettes. And Miguel would get in a car at the age of 14, drive down to the, I wish I could remember the name of it. It was, it had a specific name. Drive down, get it, and come back. No harm at all. No harm, no foul.
Some of my earliest experience driving was going to pick up cigarettes or liquor from my mom. I was 14, 15, but she'd be like, well, you could drive the car, but you got to go get me this. I'd be like, okay, whatever.
I was 7 years old. Marie Davis says, I was 7 years old along with my sister, who was 8, walked to my grandmother's house from the west end of town to the east side of town, probably about 6 or 7 miles. They got in
That's a
trouble when they got
walk.
home. Well, I'm glad you got home, and I'm glad you got in trouble, because that's a good way to end up on Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, and no kid today is going to walk 7 miles
please.
anywhere for any
Please.
reason. And we did it too. We did it.
Do I have to?
I remember walking to the old Naugatuck Valley Mall
Oh, my God.
from my cousin's house on East Mountain up near where Tools Plus is.
Dude, you are.
That's like, it was like a 5-hour walk, dude.
Shannon McBride says, I plead the fifth. I have a kid on here who is 21 and rather not give her
I
ideas.
bet Shannon did some
Funny
stuff.
she should say that. I thought of a funny story today. We're gonna go long. Now, cool with you? Give me 5 minutes. Thanks for happening. Thanks for coming in today. It might be 10 minutes, so stop your huffing and your fucking puffing. Oh my God,
She's got a date, bro.
We're gonna edit that.
Okay.
Anyway, so here I am. She doesn't really. Who the fuck's gonna go out with her? Please.
She's got a date.
The only
with
places open now
Michael
are
Scott.
McDonald's and fucking Wendy's, and she won't go there. Fucking bougie ass. We are in we are in Dunkin' Donuts parking lot in Oxford, Napkin Nabber. Yes, I was in a parking lot.
Yes, I remember.
Dude and his friend pull up at their El Camino, and they tell my buddy his car sucks. Back in the day, your car. Blah, blah, blah. I don't give a shit about cars, but my buddy did. We chased this dude down Route 67.
Yeah.
Dude's in an El Camino. We chase him down. Me and my other buddy are out hanging out this other side of the window.
Yeah.
Get into the other lane, which is only a 2-lane road, one up, one down. We get into the other lane like a fucking movie and are hurling our empty beer bottles at the car. I will never
See,
forget.
that's just good, clean
It
fun,
was
man.
so much
Come
fun.
on.
Oh my God.
Come on.
So many stories to tell.
So many stories.
I'd like to share them all, but I don't know. So I'll plead the fifth on that one. Dana has a good one. Selling the items door to door for school
Yeah.
fundraisers. Remember that big ass box you used to have to carry? John Duke made a good point. He said, "Hey, listen, anybody who can get that stuff back in there was a psychopath."
That's
He's
right. That's
but
right.
could you imagine nowadays sending kids to people's house? Go into that stranger's house and try to sell him this candle and this popcorn.
The last time I saw that done was when Ethan was a freshman in high school, and I think they went to 2 houses. They had to sell like $300 worth of raffle tickets. They walked by our house, and Lisa was like, "Oh, we'll just give you the $300. Don't be walking anybody's."
Oh,
And since then, we've never had one
Cushy
kid.
life here.
absolutely. Tammy Duda says bumper riding in the snow, which 100%.
Of course, dude. Come
Nowadays, kids are like, I don't think I should be doing that. I mean, and listen,
Who commented drinking
We hear-
and
on. I was
driving?
gonna say that's the best.
we
comment.
hear it
Bro.
live with Johnny. Don't condone any of this behavior unless we're invited.
Bro.
Look at
hold
Robert
on.
Hayden.
Bob
Drinking
Bob
and-
Hayden says drinking and driving. I mean, listen,
Digital footprint.
I have. Wait, we were supposed to stop.
What?
We were supposed to stop drinking and driving.
When did that end?
Whoa! Don't be putting shit to an end there. Buying cigarettes in quotes for mom, says Amanda DiGennaro Tamburino. She's right. I'm going to assume Vera meant riding my bike miles away. For real, though.
Yeah, hours. I mean, all day.
Kids nowadays hang out with each other, but they do it through their headphones, through Xboxes on other things. Mr. Rando says bumper skiing around town, and then as you don't have to expand them because I know what it says. He tagged a couple of his friends, and then he's like, "This one dude almost died." The guy responds, "Yeah, I did." True story. We were in McDonald's parking lot in Seymour, and they had the big light posts, and my brother had a big Blazer, and we were bumper skiing, but we tied jumper cables together and used them as like a rope.
Yeah, you do what you got to do.
And me and Paulie were on the back, and we're swinging, and all of a sudden I see the way we're going, and we're gonna hit this light post.
Right.
I just let go, and I ditched myself, and I'm like, Paulie, and he's like, to Paulie's credit, he's got a cigarette in his mouth. He don't give a fuck about nothing. He's 16 years old. He's already smokes a pack and a half a day. He don't give a shit. He goes, "Fuck that, Paul. Fuck you." He wallops this fucking pole. I mean, it just wrecked him. His hat goes flying off. The cigarette goes flying off. We go to make sure he's all right. He gets up. He's like, "Where's my cigarette?" Grabs his cigarette. Puts it in his mouth.
back.
Ian Bellward says leaving the house in general. True. Kids,
Good one.
Kids just
Good one.
nowadays. Kids won't leave the house just to leave the house. It's got to be something exciting. It's got to be something they're going to do.
Yeah.
The playing outsides are the fews and the fars between.
And how about Jessica Stoto with hitchhiking?
It's not Stoto. Learn how to read. Soto.
Jessica
He doesn't
Soto.
have his glasses on. Be
Dude,
nice.
I forgot my spectacles.
Yeah, good because they're taking rides from
Yeah,
strangers.
hitchhiking.
Jess,
Nobody does that anymore.
I
Except
I
me
wanted to call
sometimes.
you tonight, and I wanted to break into this.
Next week.
But Kirk's telling me next week. I need to know what would get us into cars with strangers. That sounds very interesting to me. Scroll up.
Please.
You mean down.
Scroll. Edward Sweet, Chief, big guy, says throwing rocks at dinosaurs. Now I'm not going
That's
to. I'm not going to
That is
expose your
funny.
age here, Mr. Sweet.
That's funny.
But that's funny shit.
I like that
He's
one.
making fun of himself. Pool hopping. Remember fucking pool hopping?
Pool hopping.
Pool hopping was good stuff. M80s and mailboxes.
Dude, that was the best.
do you remember the night?
That was the best.
Do you remember the night drunk at my house? First of all, when you shot a 30-06 into the ground,
It sounded like a nuclear device went off. It
and
was
then
the loudest
we
thing
had.
I've ever heard.
We went that time. We went to Baltimore, but came back up through Pennsylvania, and I got the box of M90s, and we were drunk sitting around the fire. And
You guys are so
my mom's
stupid.
house was here, my house was here, and she's like, "You guys are too loud." And, I go, "You want fucking loud?" And I took the whole box of M90s, and I fucking threw it into the fire. Do you remember?
Yeah, that was Johnny and I trying to reconnect with our wild youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I remember.
We
I
drank-
think that's where my anxiety
You were-
started.
We drank
You
a
were
handle and a
definitely there.
half of JMO, and then I threw the whole box. And remember the plastic part of one hit me in the neck. It was
Yeah.
burning. It stayed there for
Yeah.
like a year.
Yeah, that was
It was
stupid.
bad. It was good
That was
times.
stupid. What a
Mr.
great
Rano,
night.
we did talk about drinking from a hose. And scroll down. Okay, Brian Cervone says
That's strange.
turning on the dryer with someone in it, which I had done. And then Tammy Duda says, my brother did that to me.
So that's more common than one would think.
That's
Beck.
horrifying. That's horrifying.
you imagine getting locked
No,
in a-
I would freak. I would have a heart
I
attack.
am willing to bet that if you did that nowadays,
Oh my god. dude.
Attempted.
like brother and sister would file charges against each
Yeah.
other.
Oh, I would.
Because people don't have fucking sense of humor these days.
It's not funny.
Listen, if your brother, when you're 13 years old, throws you in a fucking dryer, that's funny. Tammy, she said zip lining using bicycle handles and cables from roof
That
jumping
is
up.
the best right there. Action Park.
Don't jump my play.
Fuck, I jumped this play. It's like
Our
whatever,
neighbors,
Johnny.
our
Carson.
neighbors would travel. They were both business. They were both business people, so they would travel a lot. So they always say to my dad, "Can you just water to whatever to whatever?" Of course, became our job. Me and my friend found a way that if we tie this clothesline for
to
this
make a zip.
trade, and we do it to his deck, we will land perfectly.
Right, you did the math.
Now, because we weren't as smart as we thought we were, he went first because, of course, he was.
Well, yeah, you're not gonna go first.
I was pretty smart as a kid. I'm like, you know what, buddy, you do it. What we didn't take into consideration was the play from the weight. Now we tied it tight enough.
You're gonna get a little bit of a sag there.
Slag.
We were coming right into. We thought we were coming right into the bottom of his deck where
Right.
he had like mulch and stuff, and it'd be fine.
Right.
Well, the play took my boy Brian a little too far, right into the brick chimney. Oh, and you can't. I'm yelling, "Let go, let go, let go!" But this potato just goes right into the numbnuts, right into the chimney. Audra says climbing billboards. Never once did I climb a billboard.
Oh, we did.
Did you?
We also climbed out. You know the bridge that goes over Lake Zor on 84?
Yeah.
Yeah, we climbed under that out into
The
those...
Newtown Bridge.
Yep.
I jumped off that.
That's stupid. We didn't do that.
Let me tell you something. To this, there was
Like
I can't
200 feet up.
Well, I can't. Well, no, I can't. I don't want to take credit for that. I don't want to brag because there's people who did there's the two levels. So I did the lower level,
which
was
is
still pretty fucking.
Still, I would not have done
my
that.
buddy
I would
Jeff
never.
Mullen. God rest Jeff Moon Mullen.
His soul?
He
From that?
No, not
Oh,
from that. No. Him and Sean Carpiak, God rest his soul. They decide they are going. I grew
Both dead.
up in the valley. It's a thing.
Both dead.
They decide. I jumped from the lower level, which I got to tell you, if I didn't have a couple, 2, 3 Jim Beams in me, I wouldn't have.
Oh, you're not doing that so
They did it. They both decided they're going to do a flip and this, that, and the other thing.
Right. Get fancy.
Moon got a concussion.
Yes.
And Carp broke like 2 fingers on each hand.
Well, yeah.
Like
He's lucky
like-
that's all he
like-
broke.
Like no joke. And I'll never forget after I jumped in, thinking about how long it took me to get from bridge to water, but watching them do it from the top, from the first
There's
one.
some hang time there.
It felt like they were in the air, and I just remember, I swear to God, I just remember going, how do we tell people they died? Like, do we just leave? Who's going to get them out of the water?
It's funny because when we were under there, we were totally wasted. Nobody ever thought about jumping.
Oh my God. All right. It's 8:40.
Not even considering it.
Murder, She Wrote, Matlock.
Yeah, come on.
He's getting mad.
Let's go.
But I do want to end it with Vicky saying Action Park. As
Was the best,
a
dude.
generation of human beings who survived Action Park, that place was a death trap on water. Did you see the documentary about it yet?
Class Action Park was one of the best documentaries.
I
And it
wanna
brought
watch
back
it.
Oh my
so
God.
many
You have
memories.
to- oh my God. Do you remember the one thing I will tell you?
I was
The
like,
slides
wait.
and shit were nuts. But the wading pool, but then they would turn the waves on, and it wasn't like a real wave pool that like they are now. It was just like a big swimming pool, and the water would just like, and it would just all of a sudden it went from 3 feet of water to like 10 feet of water, and you had to
You know what it was like?
somehow fucking survive.
Remember at the beach when sometimes you'd get caught in a breaking
Yeah.
wave? And for that second, you're like,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it was like, but for like 5 minutes. It was just, God,
I don't know if Paul Landolfi
it was
remembers
crazy.
this. He saved my life at Action Park.
Did
we
he?
were in that pool.
Yeah.
And somebody's head hit the front of my head, and I was dazed for a second, and I was out, and I couldn't like catch my bearings, and all of a sudden here comes Dolphy, like the dude from fucking Baywatch, and just saved my life.
Dude, Lisa and I went on the bungee jump thing there, and I remember clearly walking up to it, and we were looking at each other like, why is there no line for this? This seems like something that would be popular.
I think maybe next week we should start another post next Monday.
Oh, that was funny.
She says we didn't want to walk home from Bridgeport. That's why they got in a car with strangers. I think we're going to touch on the wife and the sisters getting in a car with strangers next week a little bit more.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more of that.
Because that brings me a good topic. Plus, I think we might carry over next week to crazy shit you did. Because this is like the dumb shit, like the rite of passage as a youth.
Right.
That kids don't go through anymore.
Right.
But then there was the crazier type nonsense, like,
The next level of
gunfights and knife fights
Exactly.
and all that, and pretending to kidnap people, the fun stuff.
good, clean fun.
A neighbor who pissed off your father or couldn't pay off his debt because the Broncos didn't cover,
It was good fun.
and you'd pour gasoline on their newly paved driveway. Anyway, we're glad everybody could join us tonight. We're glad that everybody was here. Hannah, is this your last show before you go back?
This is my last show.
This is your last show. We can't thank you enough. You said 4 words tonight, and for that, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
Good participation
Thank
award.
you.
You did good. You did good, kid. We will see you guys next week. Don't forget the 3 most important words in English language are how are you? Text somebody or call them. Ask them how they are. I text Kirk yesterday. Ask him how he was after the Patriots lost.
Funny.
Here we go with the Miami Dolphins. Big game Sunday at 1 o'clock. Listen, I think my team's got a chance. I'm going to say that live here. Listen, life's hard. It's hard enough without having nobody. So reach out to those who aren't reaching out. Ask them how they are. See if you can help them out. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. I love you all. Bright eyes. I'm coming home. Have that steak ready.
We need that steak.
See you next week.